What up, y'all? It's Ron Raphael coming to you from one of my favorite places in the entire world. That's Inglewood, California. My block, City of Champs. Tonight I'm listening to Coffee, a reggae star. She took off maybe about, 8-9 years ago, somewhere in there. Don't want to give her too much because she was very young when she started, so I don't want to make her too young. But it's been a minute since she's touched down. So it's Reggae Fridays at Ron Raphael's spot, my spot. Welcome to the Black Gen X Man. Hey man, what are we talking about tonight? Am I the only one that's caught up with these channels that show black women and men attempting to date? They're not necessarily fighting at all. They're looking to date. One of them is about Pop the Balloon. I don't watch that much, but I've seen it and I know it's blowing up, and I'm happy for any channel or any platform or any black folk that's doing well. The other channel is Single by Choices, so big up to them. But I know I'm not the only one that's caught up in this stuff. It's completely fascinating. The old adage is, do you know when, or you know when a black woman or woman is telling a lie? An untruth, a warped version of what should be reality. You know when you know that is when they have opened up their mouths. So that's the same with this. And then you know how they're telling the truth is because if you let them talk long enough, they will eventually tell on themselves. And that's what's exactly is going on inside of these platforms. The one with Pop the Balloon, kind of mild, and then there's another one with Kendra G, and she interviews women mostly, and they're basically telling the world about the type of man they are looking for. It's a dating app online on YouTube, a visual live dating app type of thing, where at the end you leave your address or your email or your Instagram or whatever, and people can reach out to you based on your interview. So that's what's going on there. But it's not really that. And I don't know if women understand. Back to give them a mic and let them talk long enough. They'll lie, first of all, and then eventually they'll tell the truth. And ultimately, it's a research endeavor. You get to look into the psyche of the black male, a black female mind. And if you have to deal with them, it's a good place to be, even if it's just for a little bit. But what you find out is that it's not just one crazy woman running around with lofty expectations and a sense of superiority to black men and hypergamy running rampant and crazy requests for income. It's not just one or two of these women behaving this way, or maybe have 3 children, or on average 2 or 3, never been. It's not just 1 or 2 of these women running around like this. But even furthermore, the vast majority, over 99% of these women, are asking for lofty, unreasonable, delusional requests in regard to the type of men that they want and that are available. So the thing they want the most, they actually are making it extremely hard on themselves based on delusion. And what's the word I'm looking for when you think everything should go your way? Oh yeah. And the last one, an enormous sense of self-entitlement, as if they deserve something just for being a woman, just for having a vagina. And it's the craziest thing to watch. So that, for me, is the value in it. It's not for the smoke, even though the entertainment value is immense. It's really about watching time and time again the idiocy and the broken software that's implanted in westernized black women. It's crazy. And that's the fascination for me. It's a sociological study. It's almost as if you're doing a survey and you've sitting down hundreds of women and you're taking down the data, and then you're coming up with generalizations. And the generalizations are crazy. As the thumbnail you've noticed says, it's first of all, there's a checklist, obviously, and the checklist is crazy. But the top things on this checklist are always, this guy has to be the 3 Ds, or, the 3 6s, pardon me. 6 inches in prowess, 6 feet in height, and 600K, 6 figures plus in income. So let me say that again. Let me get it right. 6 inches in length, 6 feet tall, and 6 figures in income. So why is this a crazy thing to even consider? You want what you want, fine. But the first half of this is the logic of it. And it's been talked about on numerous occasions about the illogic that is surrounding what women want. In other words, the guy that's 6 feet, makes 6 figures and has a 6 inch, schlong or past that guy is extremely rare. So that's just the first side of it. There's been a number of years of this type of conversation and platforms that have covered this. So I don't need to go into it to detail. Never mind the facts, women still are asking for this guy. And by the way, it's because they think they've reached a certain financial status that the man they're looking for should be there or above. But by the way, that's not how men choose you. So the man that's making over 100K, 200K, 250K, $250,000, he doesn't want a woman in her 40s or 50s that's making the same money he's making. Men aren't hypergamous. I talked about that in another video. But the thing that's really, really irking me lately is this thing about having a God-fearing man. Now, we're talking about women that are complete Jezebels. Women that have been having sex, nowhere near virgins, nowhere near wives, nowhere near chaste, nowhere near following the words in the Bible that they are referencing to say they want from a man. So what's the point in using a tool that you have never used, still don't use, parse, and use portions of it to vet men with? It's not a tool. It's not a value system that you follow. It's a tool by way you lash and beat men with over the head when you meet them to see if they're God-fearing. Meanwhile, you've done everything a Jezebel has done since you've become an adult. Since you've been able to decide whether you want to or can be with the opposite sex or whatever you choose, you've been doing that. Where was your thoughts on God-fearing then? How about the first abortion? How about the second abortion? They run on average of 2, not just 1. And those many are in secret. So it's probably the woman sitting right next to you, your daughter that you sent off to college, that had an abortion after having unprotected sex and experimenting through her college years. Where was the God-fearing notion then? Where was it when you then got involved with the first baby daddy, the second baby daddy, and oftentimes 3 to 5, which happens on this show on a daily basis? You would think that these type of women would run out, or eventually they would start looking and go, well, we look fucking stupid, and I don't want to make myself look foolish like these other women are. So even though I look just like them and I'm going to say the same thing, and I know I want a man, I'm not going on the show because I'm going to look like a complete fool. That's not happening either. They are lining up to show the world once again why black women are the least chosen amongst single people in the world. Give it man, woman, whatever, doesn't matter. And it's a shame, man. But the other reason it's important to watch something like this, and that this goes for the men, is because you're going to have to deal with women. If you're trapped in this country, unfortunately, unable to leave, then you're going to have to learn this landscape and learn how to master and understand the opponent. You got to understand who you're dealing with. If you have the opposite side is your nemesis, the one that actually is going to cause you the most deleterious harm, then you got to prepare for it. Preparing for it in this instance means watching them and getting to know how they think. And that's why I watch this stuff. But it just kills me. And here's a quick example of exactly what I'm talking about. And you don't have to go too far. This was the first place I went looking for an example of a woman on a dating app online YouTube business where the first couple things she asks for is a God-fearing man. After telling you she has 2 kids, never been married, a boss chick, never thought about being a wife, all this other stuff. Oh, and by the way, what kind of man you want? A God-fearing man. So, as I said before, complete Jezebel. Holding men's feet to the fire in regards to their religion and their spirituality. By the way, I believe strongly in God, but my spirituality, my connection to Him is my business. It's not someone to dictate. The gall of someone to tell another person, you gotta be anything when you don't know this person and you're interested in a relationship. Take it easy, goddammit. Who the hell are you? But anyway, quick example of what I'm talking about. Listen to this young lady.
Hey, okay.
Oh
You
my
have any
God.
children?
I have a son, yes.
How old's your son?
He's about to be 8.
8. Okay.
My
Do you
heart
have
is
any-
beating. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, an 8-year-old
Kids. Have
son.
you ever been
No,
married?
no.
No. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
A nurse. All right. So we got Jasmine. She's a nurse, Tampa, Florida, 32, Aries. Mom to an 8-year-old son, never married. What?
Okay, really quickly here. Just to be truthful, man, I was married to a medical professional for many years. They work hella hours. They're going at least 10 hours a day. And I'm telling you, I've had medical professionals in my family as well, from nurses to administrators of hospitals and so on and so forth. The most hedonist sex happens inside of hospitals amongst nurses, doctors, and all the staff. So if you think your woman or man is in a place that is supposed to be wholesome, is supposed to be a place of healing and all this other stuff, it is, but it's also a mad sex house. So she's a nurse, all right? She has an 8-year-old child. She's never been married. She's 32 years old. So she's past all the hot years that men are looking for. However, I'm sure she's going to require not only a man with a big ass D, 6 feet and above, make 600K, but also God-fearing. Here we go.
What kind of man you looking for, girl?
I am looking for someone who's serious, someone who's intentional, someone who knows what they want, who's not with the games, God-fearing man. I'm just looking for a
There we go. Oh, hold
provider,
on.
protector. I could go on
I'm sure
and
you
on.
could. But there you go. All wrapped into the common stuff, which is obviously provider. Now, she has an 8-year-old child, a boy or girl, I'm not sure. But a man coming in, as we know, he's going to have to take care of a house. She wants at least 50-50. They're looking down on 50-50. However, she would be 50-50 by herself. With that child, that's another third. That's 2/3. That's 60 something. So about 70% is what she should be paying in a home. However, she's looking for a provider to provide for who? Herself and her bastard child. And that's what That's what the child is. It's a bastard. That's the definition of what that child is. A child born out of wedlock is a bastard child. I'm one born out of wedlock too, so take it how you will. It's just the truth. That is the definition of the word. So her and her bastard child is supposed to come in and be taken care of by some man that she's requiring to be all this, make all this money, to be the top 1% of men. And by the way, be everything that she's not, which is in regards to God and God-fearing, because maybe she goes to church now. I don't know, what is this wash and repeat brain system that women have where they think they could take their past deeds, throw it in a washing machine, and then look at men and act as if they can hold us to a standard that they've never held themselves to, maybe up until recently. If they're not lying to themselves at the moment, maybe they are until next week when they meet the man that makes their panties wet again. So it's the craziest thing, this God-fearing thing from a Jezebel. It's ridiculous. Cut it out, ladies. Ron Raphael, Black Gen X Man. We get out of here, get back to my music, man, listening to coffee. Let's go out with another one. Who are we listening to here? A little Afro beat. Probably listen to some hardcore yachty reggae when I end up with you guys tonight. But yo, man, yeah, gentlemen, congratulations on your show. Kendra G on your show, and everybody else that's hooked on this. Don't just look at it for the smoke. Look at it for what you learn. And ladies, let me say this one last thing before I go. Ladies, if you're not watching this madhouse, this clown show, a procession of foolish, ignorant foolishness from black women, if you're watching this and you're upholding this, I feel sorry for our race. If you're watching this and you feel a tinge of discomfort based on how you're being represented as a woman, then you need to say something. And you need to make corrections. And even if it's too late for you, do not join the sisterhood in agreeing on everything, no matter how stupid or intolerably ignorant or wrong it is. Step up and say something. You guys might be lost, but the young ladies and the young men coming behind us need you guys to right this ship, all right? So cut it out. This God-fearing stuff, teach these young ladies to be God-fearing from when they're in their 12 to 15-year-old age, and teach them about God-fearing and keeping their legs closed. So when they get to the age of whatever it might be, they can stand up and give men what they want, what men want, so they can get what they want from men in a relationship. Not give us the shitty end of the stick and then raise your standards to the stratosphere somewhere as if now you must have got younger and prettier and tighter and all that other crap, which is not the case. So do we got to write a book, and does somebody have to come out of college to point this out? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Ladies, get this shit together and teach the young ladies beneath you to have these standards before they start doing the nasty. Because once you exercise the right, then you give up all the benefits and all the things you look for later on from a man who's supposed to be having his stuff together. He's not a dummy. He's not trying to pick up some woman with 2 kids that has been or has not, most of the time, has not been married, and take her on for what? And still, she thinks she's his equal or better than him still. And ultimately, with this attitude, she's going to figure out how to toss him out anyway in 5 years, 6, 7 years, which is the average of a marriage. So let's get it together, man. I'm out on a Friday. Everybody find your favorite place. Enjoy your weekend. It's Ron Raphael, Black Gen X Man. Peace.